Welcome back, you guys, to another edition of Dogging It. You know who I am. You know who this guy is, and this guy's coming. This guy right here is looking to be Employee of the Week or team teammate of the week because Mike
Casting
snagged us.
director.
There it is. Mike got us a pretty good guest. You guys might know him. He's been a regular, and now he's coming out of Fulda, Germany. Federito, how are you, buddy?
What's up? Muy bien. All good.
Yeah, he's in Germany saying muy bien.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's
All
our
is good then.
roving reporter in the streets of Fulda, Germany.
There you go.
Yeah,
Do some sightseeing for you guys too.
and you're heading
you
to
go.
dinner now.
What is it?
You heading to dinner now?
Yes. I'm actually going to get the schnitzel at the same place. I lied to you.
Uh oh. His lucky schnitzel. You know, for
It's still
everybody
good.
who's watching in, Federer will send you an autographed photograph of his dinner tonight for a fee.
There you go. Phenomenal for you. Got that.
You already know it's going to be a schnitzel with some French fries. It'll be
Some French
amazing.
fries. Are you getting the sauce, or are you just going with fries, not spetzels?
No sauce. Just lemon. I'm going to squeeze 2 lemons.
Perfect.
It sounds pretty good,
Perfect.
boys.
That's
I
my
can eat
kind
all
of
day.
schnitzel there. That's I like it like that, not all sauced up with spetzels. Too heavy.
Yeah,
You got to
it
stay
is
light on
super
your
good.
feet because you got a big match tomorrow.
Final 16.
Yes, big match. Playing Yap. I don't know what time. Hopefully not too early.
Yeah.
How's the event been for you, Federer? You had some pretty sketchy matches early on, man.
Every match. What do you mean early
Yeah.
on?
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
match been like this. Every
He's on the
single
grind.
match been like this. Like the first match, I was down big and won, and then my second match, I was down 7-3, and
Right.
the first 2 matches were the same. I was playing bad in the beginning of the match, and my opponent played decent, and then I catch the gear in the end of the match and ran some packages. Third match was also a weird match. I played Babika and I couldn't get a shot after the break, so we played a lot of safeties, and he played really smart and played a lot of good saves. And every time I challenged him to a shot, and he always made a ball.
Yeah.
So it was tough. And at 7-7, he made a mistake that cost him a match.
Yeah.
And then
So what do you tell yourself after matches like that when you go back to your room and you're trying to regroup for the next match? What are you talking to yourself about?
you better start playing good from the beginning next time, dummy. That's what I'm saying. But no, I mean it's honestly that's the truth. The beginning of the match is so big mentally because a lot of players will just give up if they're down big, and
Yeah.
that's the long races now. It's a race to 10, race to 11. With that format, it's even with the winter break, it's tough sometimes to overcome if you can't get a decent break going.
Yeah.
What's been the highest package you put together so far in this event, Federer?
I mean, the last 3 matches, honestly, I've been having terrible luck with refs and terrible luck with my layouts. Every time I made 2-3 balls, I never had a shot. So the first 2 matches I ran 4, I think both matches.
Okay.
So that's probably the biggest one.
Still pretty solid.
Honestly, against Babika, I didn't run a single wreck, I think.
Really?
Really?
Yes, but I
So
made 2 balls at least 2 balls every time.
So what about today's matches? You played a German who I'm not familiar with, and then you played Imran, who, all these tournaments, he just finds his way into that last 64, last 32.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty consistent player. How did you play today relative to yesterday?
I played okay. Can't say that I played my best. I struggle every match and fighting every match and trying to find my stroke, trying to find my rhythm. The first match I played against German junior.
Yeah, junior.
And
I think he finished second place in the junior worlds, right? Something like that.
Probably. his name is Dorner, right?
Right.
Dorner, last
Yeah.
name. Yeah. So I think he made some mistakes early on, and I had the lead from the beginning of the match, and then I think I made a big mistake when I was up either 6-3 or 7-3, and he came back to 7-6, and then I don't remember what happened. I think he made a mistake again when I was up 7-6 or 8-6, like a big mistake. He missed the 7 ball or 8 ball. So I had some gifts in that match.
Yeah.
But against Imran, it was tougher because from the beginning he took the lead. He was up 3-1, and should have been up 4-1, and he ended up being short on the 8 ball, and he missed the 8 ball and gave me a chance to come back in the match. And then I went up 6-3 from there.
And then it was
And
6-6. It was 6-6, and then you finished from there.
Yeah, it was 6-6, and then I don't remember what happened. It was some weird wrecks. Like I said, both of us couldn't make a decent break, and we played a lot of safeties. I made some good shots. I remember I made a combo where I played a two-way shot and I made a combo. That was a important shot at the important moment. And the last track I broke dry, and he left him a weird shot that he had to take, and he missed it, and I ran out.
What do
Okay.
you credit all these more of these lesser named players being able to keep it so tight throughout the event, Federer? Do you feel like the consistency and the rules and the format and matchroom events just kind of lend itself to everyone being able to get closer to you top players?
Yeah, honestly, everybody's playing good now. You can take 30, 40 Europeans. I'm not even talking about Asians,
Yeah.
who can find a break and run a couple of racks, and they can do it multiple times. There you go, race to 9. You can easily lose to any of them 40 guys.
Yeah.
And you're
So
not over exaggerating either.
no, it's not easy. I mean, everybody's figuring out the break, and even on tight equipment like we play, there isn't many misses this time because in Spain it was more humid. Tables were playing tighter, and I think uh, I think there was more misses in Spain than here.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just see a lot of break and runs this time. Not from me though.
Yap is going to be probably your biggest opponent in this event so far. It looks like. What experience have you had playing them in the past, Federer?
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I played him. I'm not even sure if we ever played. We probably did, but I'm not sure when. So
Yeah.
not quite sure.
Do you feel like the way you're playing right now is good enough to let you get on a run?
Tough question. I mean, I know that I'm gonna play better. I'm gonna play better by the end of the tournament every time. Every match I gain some experience, making some tweaks in my game, and uh, some uncomfortable shots become comfortable. And the more pool I play, the better I play. So you never know. I mean, mentally, I think I'm ready, and hopefully my break clicks, and I find my rhythm, I find my cue actually.
Well,
I
you've
can
already
roll.
seen it all. You've already seen it all in this event, being down and coming back. So there ain't nothing that's going to happen that you haven't been through already at this point. Mike, what do you got?
Well, I hate looking ahead, but
But
but if you can get past Yap, there's a pretty good chance it would be you and Josh, which is something we will all love to see.
oh wow,
Filler. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
No, of course it
So
doesn't. Not to as a player, it doesn't. You play whoever's in front of you. As a fan,
as a
you
fan,
want to
yeah,
see these
cool.
monster tilts.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Sure.
Have you been able to watch anybody else's game since you've been there, Federer? And who are some of the players that maybe their break or how they're playing right now is something that you're taking note of?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's breaking a little bit better from what I see. Probably Daniel Maciel has like the best break so far. Tyler has a really good break too. Same as Francisco. He's
Yeah.
pretty consistent with it. But I haven't really watched a lot of pool. I don't really like watching pool. Play and then I go back to my room. And then I try to figure out which schnitzel I'm going to eat and how much time I have. How
There you
much time
go.
I have before my next match.
Well, we promised to get you out of here in 10 minutes. We're already a minute over. Federer, we appreciate you making time. Good luck tomorrow. Mike, you got anything else before we let him go?
No, no, no. Just use that lemon on the schnitzel and wash it down with a beer.
Exactly.
All right, Federito, good luck against Yap, buddy, and we'll be following up with you, man.
Alrighty.
Hasta
All right.
Thanks
mañana.
for having me, guys.
Later, brother.
Hasta mañana.
Pretty good guess, Mike. Pretty good guess.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a nice throw-in on his way to dinner.
Yeah.
No, he's always good about jumping on whenever we ask. He's always he's a pretty honest, straightforward kid. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he's been through everything, and usually you like to kind of save your best game, for around that time of the tournament where we're at. We've seen guys kind of peak at early spots, and I don't think that's something that anybody wants to do,
Right.
But if there's someone who we know has the ability to go on a run, it's that guy right there, and
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
watching his progress of the event. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's you're right. You want to peak at the right time, but it's a dangerous game not being at your peak early on in the tournament too, because he's come close a couple of times to not making it much further. So, but we've talked about it before. Most of the time, someone wins the tournament, they've had a couple of matches, or at least one that was a real grind.
a little dicey.
Yeah, a little dicey. I mean, he hasn't. No one's taken him to the hill, but or no, his first match was a hill match, wasn't it? Yeah. And so he's had those matches, he's had the grind, and if he can catch his break, get his break working, and get that confidence and that rhythm going, then then he's really dangerous from here. But it doesn't sound like he's going to get through these next couple of rounds against heavy hitters if his break's not helping him out at all.
No, I mean that game where it's at right now, just on the break alone, we all know what he can do after the break. And over the last few events, we've seen his like post break game elevate to the level that we know that where he's at, Mike. Right, like it's lived up to that bill. But that break in general for a lot of players can just be very hit or miss, and
Right.
it's very flavor of the month in that regard. But if he can, we know what he can do. And
Right.
it's got the potential to set itself up for, like you said, what could be an amazing match. I mean, the Yap match is already going to be
The Yap
something
match is going to be
I'm
a
looking
great
at.
match. I mean, Yap's playing really well, obviously, which is good to see. He's such a good player to watch. So, yeah, that's going to be a great match, and we know how we've totally jinxed people by looking ahead to that juicy matchup, right?
Right, for sure. No,
So,
for sure.
you know,
Listen,
it,
yeah, Lord knows I have.
yeah, no. So it'll probably end up being, like, Fortunski against Yap, but good matches from here on out, and there were some good matches today, really good matches today.
I didn't get to see that Yap match against Chua, but with that scoreline, he can do some damage, and it didn't seem like Johan really put a whole lot of heat on him.
No, I saw them interview Yap afterwards, and he said that Johan, especially the first part of the match, gave him a lot of opportunities. And
is that what he was saying, Mike?
Yeah, and he said that, and he also got some nice, fortunate, bumps and rolls. So, he said that he just, he was in one of those situations where he was able to get pretty comfortable at the table because of getting some rolls and having an opponent who wasn't playing well.
Well, I'm gonna turn off this graphic here, Mike, and we're gonna run through where we're at so far and how the morning's gone, and then we'll just kind of do our
Yeah.
usual thing. You got Albin versus Jason in what was dubbed one of the, on paper anyway, one of the matchups that a lot of people were looking forward to, myself included. But I'll be perfectly honest with you, Mike. This was a little painful to watch at times between these two guys.
Yeah, it was. It was a really weird match.
Yeah,
It shouldn't have been close. Then it was close because Albin couldn't finish, and
right.
Albin, fouling on ball in hand, with the tip of his cue, and at a critical point in the match, things like that. It got dicey. Not for all the right reasons. It wasn't a video that a lot of people are going to watch for instructional value. But it was exciting. It was exciting, and with those two players, you just and they both, you could tell they both know it. A couple of those mistakes going to cost you a match. Albin has seen that a couple of times where he looks like he's in control and he's made a mistake, and all of a sudden he's at the end of the match shaking his head. So it came close to that today, but Albin got through that, and then got steamrolled by your boy.
Yeah. I feel like with Albin, it's a lot more. Like, I know what the ability is. It's a lot more mental with Albin, and
There's
that
a
seems
lot
to
of
be.
mental with Albin for sure.
Yeah, it seems to be more of a trend over the last few years, Mike. And those are two guys in that first matchup in the round of 64, where you're not only thinking, okay, how far can they go in this event, but these are guys you expect to be in the conversation come December, which is what a lot of these guys' goals are, right, Mike? So,
Right.
Albin got away with one. It didn't last very long because Maciel took down Mika and right below him, and he made work of Albin. You know, I
Yeah.
I haven't seen Maciel this event, Mike. When I made those picks, I'm going what I've seen from him form wise over the last few months, and I always say the word trend, and it's not like a kind of a popular thing to go and say, but I think about those things when I think about players that are on the rise, because I want to see I want to project like where you're going, right, or whether or
Right.
not you've peaked or not. I don't think we've seen this guy's best game yet, but so
Right.
far it's already gotten him through to the round of 16, Mike.
It has. He's obviously playing great. And Federer said, he's breaking as well as anybody there.
Big
So
compliment, Mike.
yeah. So and now if we go look down below that, he's matched up in the final 16 against another Polish player. Surprise. These Polish players they're always there, right? They always end up playing each other because there's so many of them who go deep in these tournaments.
Very deep.
So he gets Wojciech, who beat Mickey Kraus, and then took down the snooker star Gary Wilson, who had another really solid tournament. So Maciel against Wojciech, good matchup there.
Yeah, a lot of guys who may not be, so you can have it, baby. You can have one. A lot of guys who may not be, as let's say sexy a name like a Federer or Shane or FSR, but they got the game that can be. They got
Yeah.
the game who can get them there in that same conversation. Wojciech's a world 10 ball champion. We all know what he's done already. We all know what he can do on a 9 ball stage, for that matter. Big spots are something that he's been in the past, although it's been a little bit, where I think like Maciel's got more to prove just because he's not as accomplished. You know,
Right.
this is a great underrated matchup, Mike, by two guys who can make themselves a part of that 9 ball European
Yeah.
heavyweight conversation.
I hope that they get a TV table because, there's always so many Polish players late in these tournaments, and you don't see them on the big table that often.
Right.
They usually go with the sexy names on the big table, but these guys are there tournament in and tournament out. Misko and Wojciech and Maciel and all these guys. So let's get them some airtime.
I think it's coming, Mike. I do, and it's a big market for Matchroom just because of they're hosting the World Championships there,
Right.
I believe anyway. So it's something that a lot of people are going to be interested in. And just looking down, we got Raga versus Morra in the next round
Yeah,
of 16. But if I'm thinking about just comparing that matchup to the Polish matchup right above, I like the one up top, Mike. To be honest, like
yeah,
if I want to watch it, in other words, and I'm
right.
sure there's a lot of people in the Philippines that are going to want to watch this one. If the Raga and Morra match is on there, I'll be watching that as well. But man, I really want to see those two guys battle it out. To be perfectly honest with you, but
I do
um,
too.
in this round, Mike, we got Kopinyi, who made easy work of Georgie 10-1 on the TV table to start off the day. He ended up matching up with what we hoped it would be
Yeah.
and Anton Raga. It did not make the TV table, Mike. 10-0. And I don't
Well,
know
if it,
how.
it,
How
it
was
may
that,
have
Mike?
it may have made the TV table. It was over so fast nobody saw it.
Well, I think
Uh,
they said it was on TikTok, but I don't remember seeing that link anywhere. So I don't
yeah,
know.
I didn't see anything either. But
Are you TikToking, Mike?
no,
Are you
I'm
doing
I'm
dance videos?
I'm working.
Come on. Come on,
I'm
Mike.
working,
Come on,
man.
Mike. I'm gonna look up Mike P on TikTok and see
And
if
TikTok,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. As long as you're not only fanning it, then we're all right. So, uh,
yeah.
Anton Raga, Mike 10-0 scoreline over Kopinyi. I messaged James after the match and I asked him because I had seen a comment on the matchroom thread saying that Anton
But he
had started
ran
off with
9.
that he had ran 9,
Yeah,
and what James told me was that no, he broke and ran the first one, second one he got
fouled.
fortunate. Well, he missed the 6 ball in the second rack, and then he ran 7 from there. So really one mistake from Kopinyi, and he was stuck 9-0. Mike,
Yeah,
that's pretty strong, Mike.
that is pretty strong. I mean, if Federer may want to go look at the video of that to watch Raga's break because obviously something was working for him. He runs 7 in a row. That's enough said right there.
We talk about guys who haven't done it before on the matchroom stage, but like who are very touted and sexy when it comes to a name. This guy epitomizes that statement, Mike. This is someone who we've seen in the Philippines and in a few Asian countries do some damage. We've seen him in a China Open final before, where he's lost the Wu, not Wu Kun Lin, and to have a win like this, well, really the two wins for that matter, 10-8 win over Snagaki, 10-0
Right.
win over Kopinyi. I asked James, as a matter of fact, to ask Anton a question for me, and he said, if I can keep up this consistency, then I can go deep and I can win this whole thing. If I had that same game, that same break that I had against Kopinyi, no one's stopping him. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but in a nutshell, that's what he said, Mike.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising that he's got a ton of confidence right now after a match like that, and he's fun to watch. I mean, I like he's quirky. You kind of compared him to a Beanie Baby. He's kind of that little
Hey, hey,
round.
hey, easy there, Tiger.
Well, but he is. I mean,
Yeah,
he's got a great little persona about him that's really quirky and really different, and he's kind of fidgety, and
yeah.
stabs at shots sometimes. I love watching him play. So I would love to see him make a deep run in this because I think it'd be exciting.
He can be pinpoint, he can be precise, but he doesn't have the experience that a lot of these other guys
Right.
have on this stage. And that's something that he's starting to get more and more now that he's traveling, which everybody has been wanting to see. So all eyes are going to be on Anton. I mean, with all due respect, he's in a really good spot after beating Kopinyi. There was a lot of guys at the bottom that we thought were going to be coming out from this section. I
Yeah.
like Max or Alexa. Neither one of them got there because John
No.
Morra took them both out, Mike,
John Morris taking care of business. Good for him. You couldn't be
kicking
happier.
ass and taking names.
Yeah, you couldn't be happier for a guy than to see John Morra make the final 16. I'd love to see him. It's going to be a great matchup. If he ends up beating Raga, I'll be happy as can
Of
be
course.
to see John Morra in the final 8. He's worked so hard at his game and his personal life, and we all know about him switching from righty to lefty. And
Right.
to do that and to be in the final 16 of this event, I mean, it's crazy to think about it. It really is.
By far the best finish that he's had in a matchroom event since I can remember, Mike, at least well over a year, if I'm thinking back that far. But
I
it's not
think
going
he's
to get
made
any
a
easier.
couple. I think he's made a 16 before, but yeah, I don't remember him much in the final 8.
Well, these wins that he's had leading into this matchup are something where you can have a lot of confidence and momentum going
Yeah,
into it. We know
good
we know what
quality wins for him.
two strong European players, Mike. And I'll be honest with you, if I was firing at it, I would have taken either one of them. I would have taken Max, and I probably would have taken Alexa. So to have these victories, and pretty convincingly 10-7, 10-6 respectively, John's going to be ready. John's going to have confidence. John's going to be prepared, and this is going to be a great matchup. And I hope the
Yeah.
scoreline just reflects, the excitement that I have for this particular
Yeah.
matchup, Mike.
Yeah. Should be good.
Looking through this next, oh shit, what did I do? Oh, I'm dogging it, Mike. Hold on a second. Technical difficulties here. Hang tight, you guys.
No technical. It's operator error, buddy.
Well, well, no kidding. All right, where are we at, Mike? Let's see.
Well, we've already talked about Yap and Federer, so we can probably just roll down to.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
Demetrius and Misko are, coming near the end of their match. The winner of that gets filler. So good luck with that. Josh is playing like a monster, and he's Josh playing like a monster in Germany, and now you get to the Sky TV tables and bright lights, and it's Josh's time to shine. So good luck for anybody running into him right now.
Starting off the morning with the 10-5 win over Victor, my ass was up that early watching this match. Then I kind of like dozing in and out, but it was the Josh show from beginning to end, Mike, and he did not let off any when he faced the Estonian Karl Natterberg. 10-1 a scoreline. Josh is prime time, Mike. Josh, is the big lights, is the bright stage. He's everything you said, and he's playing in his home country. He's going to want it, and he's going to be facing either Demetrius or Fortunsky. Josh can sit either one of those boys down for quite a period of time. Yeah. I saw a post from Niels. I don't know if you saw it, Mike, but he mentioned where Demetrius was the slowest player on the tour, and that's something that he's going to need to shape up if that was true, because I'd imagine we're going shot clock from here on out.
Yeah, you would kind of assume so. If that's the case, he's going to have to step up his game.
No, without a doubt. I'm assuming you'll just be taking Josh from here on out, Mike, since your boy since your boy Cole is out.
I'm going to take Federer over Josh.
Well, we'll get there in just a minute. We'll get there. Hold on. We'll get there. SVB, Mike, taking down, I don't even know that guy's name, the first guy from Germany, and then another German in the next round, 10-6, 10-4, faces Tim DeRuyter in the round of 16. Good tournament from Tim, Mike. He's taken down some names as well.
Yeah, he has. He's played really well. Took down Ken Salim, took down Bongers. But like we said yesterday when we saw the final 64 breakdown, that little bracket that looked the cushiest was Shane's. Shane looked like he had the easiest route to the final 8. Now, could he lose to the Ryder? Of course he can. But if you look at those 8 players, if you looked at those 8 players in that part of the bracket, you had to like Shane's chances of getting to the final 8. And I still like his chance of getting to the final 8.
I do too, and if you're Shane, I'm sure that he does not mind that matchup, and I mean that with all due respect to Tim. But we all know what Shane is at the end of tournaments. Good tournament for Tim, and who knows? He could be this event's like Mark Biesterbosch. You never know.
Yeah,
Mike.
Sure, of course.
But you gotta make that happen first, and it's not gonna be easy with SVB, standing in front of you to get to the final 8. So
I do want to mention Jenny was asking before about Torsten's foul against Shane in the last rack. And what happened was he was looking at the 9 was in the corner with the cue ball, and he was hooked on the 2, and it looked like he was going to try to masse, into the 9 and kind of kick the 9 out of the corner pocket so it wasn't just a hanger and give up the foul. And in doing so, I'm pretty sure he touched the cue ball or the 9 with the tip of his cue and immediately just kind of walked off and handed ball in hand to Shane. So Jenny, pretty sure that's what happened.
Well, I didn't get to watch that, but it's I like these guys playing with class, obviously, and Thorsten is it, for sure. Yeah. So another Hall of Famer, and a great tournament by him as well. This is a pretty strong performance getting into the round of 32 for the former world champion. Um, let's keep on cruising along, Mike. We got the matchup that everybody was talking about, Mike. Sky versus Styer in the round of 32. Did you expect this to happen the way that it did, Mike?
I didn't expect it the way that it did. We talked about Tyler the last couple of days. I like the way he's playing here. I like that he spent time with Johan before the tournament started. Saw
Right.
Johan sitting table side during his matches. So he's focused. He's dialed in. He's really, trying to make, and he's played really strong. Now in this match, he actually didn't play great in this match. He made a way too many mistakes to get away with against someone like Mario He, and it should be way too many mistakes to get away with against someone like Sky. But Sky played abysmal. I mean, I
Yep.
couldn't believe some of the shots Sky was missing, and he had no feel for the table. He was overrunning, underrunning shots left and right, and then that caused him to miss a lot of shots. He did not play well at all, and so Tyler was kind of just waiting for his chance to close it out, and then he did. He had his opportunities in the last couple of racks and ended up getting out. So good for him. He's having a great tournament. I love seeing it.
Yep.
We talked at the beginning of the event. Did I think he could win this? Probably not. But did I think he could? Would I love to see him hit a final 8? Yeah, I would love to see him hit a final 8 in one of these big open events and go further, obviously. But final 8 would be just fantastic. Push for him, and he'd have to get through Mario He to get there. And did he just beat Mario He in a recent tournament? He had kind of
Maybe it was, Mike. Yeah.
he had kind of a marquee win in the last couple of tournaments, Tyler, in like the round of 32 or the round of 64. And I thought it was Mario. So, we all know what Mario's like. We all know what Mario can come with. So another big opportunity for Tyler to really make a statement, show where his game's at, show where he's headed. So I'd love to see him beat Mario. And if he did, then it would be him and Shane against if Shane gets through de Ryder. So you'd end up with another American matchup. But like the way these guys are all playing right now, really. I mean, Sky had a terrible match today, but really the last 2 tournaments and the first 3-4 matches of this tournament, Sky looks really good. Great to see Tyler playing solid. Shane's playing Shane. So, their team's playing pretty well right now.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler was someone that had a lot of questions just from a ranking standpoint coming into this event, and he had opportunities to go and make moves. Now, for my money, I feel like he was in that conversation to be a captain's pick, just given the way that he played last year. But he could go and take all those questions out of it with a good run. And this is how you do it, Mike. He's had quality wins from beginning to end. Well, not end, beginning to so far in this
Right.
event. Regardless of whether or not Sky wasn't Sky, that's still a pretty solid win because we've
You
had
still got to
questions
win 10
about
games.
yeah, and you've had questions about about Tyler's ability to close. Well, he closed here, Mike, and this matchup with Mario is something that is going to be very intriguing to watch because you got guys who can play extremely well, but then you have guys that when they're around that 6, 7, 8 mark can kind of let you back in. I'm curious to see where this ends up whenever it's done with because both these guys are looking to make moves for the Moscone Cup and they can do it
Right.
right now, Mike.
Right. Yeah,
So
no, it's it's a great opportunity, and it should be a great match. And this is one of those where I think it's going to be, I would expect this one to be close late. And like I said, we both know that they both had their issues at times in the late
right.
stages of really close matches, big matches.
But guys you
So
root for, Mike, guys who are easy to root
yeah,
for
yeah,
in Tyler and in Mario.
right. So
You
it'll
know?
be interesting to see how this one goes. I'd love to see a well played tight match go late and see who comes out with the who
Who do
comes
you think who do you think has more to lose between that Tyler and Mario match before we move on?
more to lose in what sense?
Just in general, but whether you're talking about
Well, I
Moscone
would
Cup
think
or
I would think Mario. I think
agreed.
Tyler's a lock for Moscone Cup myself.
Agreed. Agreed. Just because it's
So
so deep in Europe, right?
Mario's got to get in on points, and so I think it's way more important for Mario at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even though Mario is a great European, he's very well respected and liked, in the tour, he's still a rookie at the end of the day.
Right.
So that's something that's always going to be held against them when you think about a wild card pick. He can go and earn his way on if he continues his run, and work his ass off over the next few months as well, leading into October, November, December. But I'm with you 1,000,000% on both sides. Whether it's you're talking about the Mario argument or whether or not Tyler's a lock for the Moscone Cup, because I think he is. And I think this just further solidifies what I've been thinking about this kid when it comes to big spots. So,
Right.
but knowing Tyler the way that we do, we know the job's not done for him. He's going to be all business. He's going to be
Yep.
super focused, and he's going to come with his best game possible come tomorrow. So,
Yep.
moving on to this next round, Mike, we got David versus Yanni Uski in the round of 16. David took down another
Yeah.
Finnish player in Yanni Saikinen, and he followed that up with a pretty convincing win over
Yeah.
Naoki Oi, Mike.
Yeah. No, it's he's obviously playing. It's good to see David back playing singles matches in the open event really strong again.
Right.
Um, and
Another
uh,
guy with lots to prove, Mike.
another guy with lots to prove. But I'm taking Yanni Yuski here.
Are you?
Yeah. I just you talked about
Do you
trending and
just
you
like
watch.
saying Yakuski, or you like the guy's game? Because I think you get a little happy
It's
just being able to say his name every time.
Yeah, no, it's Yanni Yuski. I mean, that's a cool name. But no, he's. I remember I'd never heard of him before last year at the U.S. Open in
Right.
Atlantic City, and I watched him there, and I saw him win a couple of matches, and I thought this, he's got some moxie to him. He's got some game, and over the last year, you've seen him, every tournament or so take someone
Be in
down that
this
you
spot.
thought that he was, yeah, kind of be in some of
Yep.
these tougher spots. And so, like all these young guys, as they get better and they get in these spots more often, they make that next step. They get one round further. They get one match
Right.
further. They beat one more big opponent. This is the one that he took down Kazakhstan pretty easily. So, um, you know, that's a good statement right there. And yeah, I like his chances against David.
Jinian just says Fortunsky just won over Demetrius. So I'm
Yeah.
sure if you're a fan of Josh, you're not too thrilled thinking that, because Fortunsky is going to be a very tough opponent, even though we all
Yeah.
like Josh in that spot either way. But
Couple
um,
lefties will fire at it, that's for sure.
well, yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot more pressure, I feel like, on Josh, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. But we know how he does under pressure. We know how he does under big moments, whether it's a championship or under the brightest of lights in December. That kid's just box office. But yeah, playing
Well, listen,
underneath
if you
or
want to make a
playing in your home
statement,
crowd.
this is Fortunsky's opportunity. We wait for him to make these big, runs every once in a while too, because he's got the talent. But
Yeah, but I don't want to see this shit if it's like, I don't want to see you beat Josh and then lose in the round of 8. If you're going to do it, follow up, because how many tournaments have we seen where maybe a lesser name takes down a bigger name and then they're out the very next round, Mike? They kind of have that letdown
well,
game afterwards.
yeah, they do. I mean, they had to play perfect to beat the guy that they're not supposed to beat usually, and
Right.
they end up doing that. So, if just because Misko may not win the tournament, I don't think it wouldn't be huge for him to beat Josh.
I got this thing, and I'll post it later on, but I'll look and see what their overall record is, because thanks to my buddies at Fargo Rate, they've helped me out with this head-to-head thing where they'll show me their overall record. So, um, anyway, moving on, Mike. Let's see if I can get this damn thing to work with me here. Starting off in this section of 8 players, Mike Conrad beat Moritz in a nail biter 10-8.
Right?
Conrad loses in the following round to Oliver Solnacki, who is through to the final 16.
Yeah, good for him.
Um, absolutely. You got Francisco in a bit of a dogfight after being up pretty early. It looks like 5-4 is a live score, and you guys can check that out on the zone. This is, I mean, Francisco better get his act together here, right, Mike? I mean, Ralph can be sneaky here, can he?
Yeah, no, Ralph can slow the pace a little bit, turn some of these racks into grinds, and next thing you know, it's 8-8, and you're going to 10. So you know, uh, if I was betting from here to the end of the wire, I'd probably still go with Fran.
Oh,
But
I'm shocked. I'm shocked there to hear that story, Mike. Yeah, I can't believe that.
well, call me a gambler.
Yeah,
Um, but I love watching Ralph get to this stage of these tournaments still, and I love him, being in there giving top guys a good battle for their money. Ralph's consummate professional, tactician, great
without a
player.
doubt.
You always just tip your hat to him.
He's timeless, Mike. And it's a credit to his ability to still be competing like this at this point of his career.
Yeah.
You know, being at 5'4" against arguably the best player on earth in FSR is something to be proud of. But I'm sure Ralph still wants to get there. I'm going to be watching this here in a little bit, but uh, I I really hope, and I mean this, as nice as it can be, I don't really want to watch Ralph and Oliver play because that might just be, they may not get done till next year in Boulder. So
Well,
they're not gonna get clocked for speeding around here. That's for sure.
it probably wouldn't be a TV table, so you wouldn't have to worry about having to watch it.
Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit, Mike, here, and we'll look through some of these. We'll
Look
start up
ahead.
top. Yeah, we'll start looking a little bit further ahead here, Mike, of what we
Yep.
like. Hold on 1 second here. Oh, there we go. We're already there. Okay, so up here up top, we got
I know who
Maciel.
you're looking for. You're looking for that juicy matchup in the round of 8, right?
Oh, always. We're always going to be projecting a little bit. You got Maciel and
Maciel and
Wojcik.
Raga.
I
Maciel and
think so.
Raga is your pick, right?
James says the champ Anton is watching. So we appreciate you guys for checking out the podcast. Who do you like, Mike? Now that you got Anton watching right now.
Well, I like Anton against John Morra,
Agreed.
and you know, but I, my heart will always be rooting for John to do well, and I'm gonna ride with you. You've been picking the hot hand the last 2 tournaments as far as these kind of dark horse names, and
Right.
Maciel is obviously playing great pool. So if Maciel gets past Wojcik and plays Anton, it could be a real barn burner.
Well, momentum is everything in pool, Mike, and Anton's got the momentum. He's got the hot hand. He's going to have it against John, but if he gets past John, this matchup with either Wojcik or Maciel is something where he's going to be probably the favorite as well. He's not going to be looking past either one of these guys. But man, I tell you what, like if getting these 2 quality wins in Snagaki and Kopinyi leading into tomorrow, you got to like Anton from here, Mike. And I know who I picked leading into the event. I know who I picked in the round of 64 in Maciel. But if Anton's got his breakdown and he's getting more comfortable after the break, he's a top, let's say 5 player on earth whenever he's comfortable, Mike, and he looks like he is. So everyone better be on notice from here on out, and I think everyone's going to be watching to see where he ends up, Mike.
I think you just found your way onto his Christmas card list. That's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. But and I'm not looking past John here. You're just looking at how these guys have been playing lately, for sure. So, I'm really excited to see those particular matchups out of all these. You got Federer and Yap, and then you got Moscone and Josh. Mike, are we going to end up with that Filler versus Federer final
I
weight
don't know,
match that we
man.
all want to see?
I mean, our cup would runneth over if it was Maciel against Raga and then Federer against Josh. In that round of 8, that would be.
Well, that's who we want. That's who I want for sure. That's who I want. I want to see.
If you're a
both
fan,
those
and always no offense to these other players, they're all great players and they're all great guys. I mean, I like all of them.
Well, listen, even if it ends up like that,
so-
Mike, if let's say you get a Maciel versus Federer filler, or you get Anton versus Federer filler, those are going to be great matchups.
Yeah.
Federer destroyed Maciel last tournament in the single elimination round. Anton being the player that he is, matching up with Federer or filler is going to be just a bombshell of a matchup. So these are things that you want to see. Yap's looking pretty stout, Mike, but I hope we get it, man. I do.
I do too, but based on our record at the Spanish Open for picking these
they're doomed.
things,
Yeah, it's gonna be Yap.
It's gonna be John. It's gonna be John Morra against Aloysius Yap, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the way that we run, without a doubt. Um, if let's say it ends up with the filler Federer matchup, who do you got there, Mike?
I'm sorry. Oh, Federer filler.
Yeah,
Um, I'm 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 going Federer.
you're betting against the hometown guy, huh?
Well, I said it the other day. I said, there's one guy that I'm rooting on to see win one of these tournaments as soon as possible is Federer. I just, I want to see him win one. So,
Well,
he's a personal favorite of mine, and I just like his game, and um, I like what he brings to pool. So I want to see him pull one of these off. So yeah, I would be pulling for Federer against Josh.
are you picking Federer over in this top section of the bracket, Mike? Over these 8 players up top?
Marcel, Raga,
Yep.
Federer, filler.
I mean, if you're picking him against Josh, you'd have to probably pick him against Anton, wouldn't you? Or
Yeah,
Maciel.
yeah, I would. I would.
Yeah. It's a tough ask. And
It's a tough
Josh
ask,
is great.
especially considering he hasn't played great to this point. He's going to
That
have to
yeah, of
catch a
course.
gear. He's going to have to catch a gear to go forward. But if he does, then I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think you can't ask for the potential for a better top half of your bracket if you're
Oh,
match room, you know,
it's yeah, it's
because
pretty sporty.
yeah, I mean, I think however you chop it up, it's going to be something that everyone's going to want to watch. I hope that we end up getting it where we expect it to be or where we hope it is. But anytime you have a Filipino player in the final, 8, final 4 of an event, it's always going to be something exciting to watch, Mike.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yep.
I think either way, you're gonna have your hands full no matter who you end up with, whether you're Anton or Maciel, Federer, or Phil or whoever. Even Yap, if Yap can continue playing the way that he did today. So, um, I don't. If the filler that played Victor this morning is going to be the same guy tomorrow, all bets are off. And I know Josh is going to be the number one, probably on paper favorite just in general of the tournament out of everyone who's left. But and I hate picking chalk, but Josh is a different animal, Mike.
Yeah. No,
So,
Josh is Josh.
all right, Mike, up top, you got Shane versus Tim DeRuiter. We all, it's a great tournament like Tim, or about Tim, like we said earlier, but we expect Shane to get through. Tyler and Mario who you got there, Mike?
I'm going to ride Tyler today. I just like the way he's playing this tournament. I like where his head's at. I like his focus, and I want to see him get through a tight match.
So
At
then,
this stage, he's a really good player.
do you think that Tyler's game today, it's been over the last, let's say, 2 days, is good enough to beat Shane where he's at right now?
I don't know if his game is the same once he gets in there against Shane.
You mean from like a mental standpoint, Mike?
Yes. Yes.
Agreed.
Just curious. Who the hell knows? I mean, I don't know what's in his head, and maybe he goes in more confident. Maybe he feels like he's got who knows. But it's it's still a little hero worship for sure. So you don't know how that plays out. But I would probably roll my dice on Shane at that point.
I mean, Shane's going to be the favorite over these guys. I think, I would like to see Tyler stand tall and beat Mario, and then follow that up with the win from Shane. That would put Sky as a number one pick for USA for the Moscone Cup. That would put Tyler in a very good spot to make a decent jump in the USA rankings. But Mario is someone who I've had my eye on over the last year
Yeah, of
to
course.
kind of to get deep and go big. We haven't seen
Yep.
him really make that run since he dogged it against Albin. What was it, Mike? I forgot what event it was, but he was in a great spot against Albin and then just let the wheels
Yeah.
fall off. So um, we'll see. I guess time will tell tomorrow. But over at the bottom, Mike. I mean, we all expect it to be FSR or bust, right? He's up 6-4 on Ralph. Even if we end up with the FSR versus David or FSR versus Yanni Uski, I'm assuming you'd still pick Francisco.
But you know how much I like saying Yanni
I
Yuski.
know, I know. So, are you gonna put your money where your mouth is? Are you going out on a limb, Mike?
Well, it could end up being David against Francisco. That would be pretty sporty. That would be pretty
That would
interesting.
that would be very interesting, Mike. I didn't even realize that was a possibility till a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Uh, Jenny says that they might announce the Moscone Cup captains today, so that's something that we got to keep an eye on, Mike, as well.
If
So,
if she knows more than we know about that at this point, with all the questions we've been asking the matchroom people, I'm not going to be happy.
well, we know we can annoy some people, Mike. That's not we're not above that. So, um, we expect the announcement. If it's not today, then by tomorrow at the latest. So,
Yeah,
at least that's what we've been hearing over the last few days, and we've been trying to. Mike's been more staying on top of it than I have, but yeah, we'll
it's called
see.
begging. It's called begging. It's
Nagging,
called,
yeah,
yeah.
nagging, not begging, Mike,
Excuse me,
nagging.
excuse me,
Yeah,
me again.
hello.
Any
Um,
updates?
this is about as good as you can ask of an event. Leading into the final 16, Mike. If you ask me, let's say
It's a pretty solid final 16. No complaints about that. We'll see how it goes from here. I mean, we're hoping that our hearts want us to see it go a little bit chalk from here to see some of those big tilts.
right.
But
Because do you think it's going to be a dang mark kind of final out of this event, or do you think it'll be more
I don't know.
box office than
I mean,
anything?
it's a roll of the dice. I mean, that we never saw that one coming. If you picked those two guys early in the tournament to meet in the final, you could have gotten a pretty good parlay on that. But that's the way these tournaments are going. That's the way a lot of these players are going these days. Someone can get a hot run, and it's cool to see. It makes the sweating and betting a little bit, dicey. But it could be anybody. I think we saw it in the Spanish Open. I'd be surprised if we saw it two tournaments in a row. So I'd probably be thinking that this is more likely to be one of those chalk type tournaments,
I
which
mean,
could set up
I'm
for an
imagine
amazing Final Four.
imagine Anton, Filler, Shane, FSR. Imagine, Mike.
Or
You know,
imagine Anton Federer, SFR, FSR, and Shane.
yeah, either one of them will be good. Either one of them. It's got potential. It hardly ever happens the way that we want it to. That's for sure.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it does. I mean, we always end up looking like dogs when it comes to
Well, but that's just part of nine ball pool where it's at today.
it
And like
is.
Federer said, there's so many guys who, if they got their break in, they can keep you sitting down for quite a bit.
Yeah,
But this is the part of the tournament where you can make a name for yourself, right? Where champions are born. There's certain guys who can go on runs when you got another bullet in the chamber. There's certain guys who can go on runs when they're up ahead, 6-0 or 5-1. And then there's guys who can show grit and moxie when it's time. There's guys who can come back. There's guys who can close when they need to. And there's a big bunch of guys still left in this event that have all those things, Mike.
yeah, there are. There's some really juicy matchups that we could see coming out, and um, could be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun no matter what, but it could really be some cool stuff.
Keep your notifications on. We're going to try to go live, I guess, maybe tomorrow, Mike, if you're free. I don't know if you're going to be around or not.
Tomorrow's might be a little bit tight, but we'll stay in touch.
All right. We'll hopefully get some Moscone Cup captains announcements as well over the next day. And yeah, just it's moving day, Mike. And this is the best
Yeah.
part of the tournament that I can't wait to watch. I'm gonna be watching every match. I don't care what time I got to get up and one eye open. I'm gonna be doing. So,
So what?
uh,
Well, let's talk Moscone Cup captains real quick. You're looking around the arena; they keep showing, and all of a sudden you see, Oliver Ortman's in the field, and Johan is sitting table side, and Ralph Eckert is sitting 2 rows deep in the stands, and you said Alex Lely was there, but I have not seen him.
he was on the players list. I don't know if he ended up playing the event or not, but I know he
Okay,
was for sure on the players list.
okay. Yeah, I don't remember seeing his name on a match score, to tell you the truth. But so Jeremy's there, obviously. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to make of what we're going to see. Any hazard any guesses?
Emily likes the wow effect. Emily likes to keep it exciting. I would be surprised if it's chalk. And what I mean by chalk, I mean like a Double J and Laley. Now, I would want to see Jeremy be coach of Team USA again, but just from history's sake, and I think they want to cause some waves. I think they want to shake it up a little bit, and I don't think they wanted to wait all this time in order for that announcement to be a little flat. And that's just my personal thought. Now, with that said, I think it'd be tough for Johan to come back for reasons that
Yeah,
we've
no,
both heard.
there.
You know,
I don't think that's going to
um,
happen.
I don't think so either. But then who, Mike? Who is the name that would be coming in if it's not Jeremy? Let's say it's
You're
not a
talking about,
Johan,
oh, you're talking about for Team USA.
right? Yeah,
I, I,
because I
I
don't think you would
fully,
want a Johan to come back on Team Europe when you already know they're going to be stacked as it is.
I fully expect, I fully expect Jeremy to be Team USA captain again, and I expect the European captain to be different than Alex. That's my expectation. I have no idea who that would be. I've been racking my brains trying to think it out. I don't think Niels would take it at this point. Would have,
For a
um,
$40,000 payday, Mike, for a good shot at getting 40 grand, you don't think he would take it? You think pride would get that much in the way over saying I don't want to pick up 40 right now?
he's still got two more tournaments to try to make the team. Two more big open tournaments to try to make the team, and he's not that far out.
It's a big gamble.
It is a
I mean,
big
I,
gamble,
I know
but
Neil's I know he's a competitor. I
yeah,
know, you know,
amazing competitor.
right? Yeah, yeah, and he still has not just a chip on his shoulder, but it's not out of it's. He's not like some of these other guys where like they'll say I want to make a run, and you're like, "Man, you ain't got it in you. Neil's got. I'm not gonna mention any names, but Neil's got it in him. Neil's got some killer in him for
Yeah, he
sure.
does.
You
He
know,
does, and
um,
he will be a Team Europe captain at some point. That I pretty much guarantee. It's just
so who's the
when
wrench
is
then,
he
Mike?
ready?
What wrench is gonna get thrown in the mix then? You think it's
Man,
gonna be Jeremy and who?
no clue. I've tossed around some names. I've thought of like a Ralph Eckert. I've thought of the other German coach, Gunter Geisen, who handles fillers. Some of
But
these
isn't he a
really
part of the national
established.
team? Wouldn't that have like some kind of conflict when it comes to federations? And I don't think the German federation necessarily is pro matchroom right now.
I don't know.
I'm just
I
thinking.
don't know if he's paid by the German Federation or not. So if he is, it'd be one thing. If he's not, then he could go where he wants to go.
Yeah.
I think that they're guys that would be respected, guys who are established traditional coaches. I'm trying to think of other countries that have similar situations. Can't really come up with anything off the top of my head. As far as former players, I just don't see anybody that sexy out there, to tell you the truth. I thought about Oliver Ortman when they first said that he was playing in the event. I'm like, well, that's interesting, but he is German. He's in Germany, so it's not that big a yank for him to be in an event. But he was a Team Europe captain before, and he was a Team Europe captain that won with them when they were a big underdog against the U.S. And he's that fiery guy, and and part of it's probably just I like Oliver a lot, so. It would be cool to see his name even in the mix, but who knows whether he even reached that far in trying to pick somebody. So I would be very interested to talk to Emily afterwards see if she'll come with what the short list was and how they got to where they ended up. Because that would be really interesting to me, because I think and any player that I've talked to so far this year is completely in the dark about where they're going with this.
We've been trying. Lord
We've been
knows we've
trying.
been trying.
We've been
Yeah.
sleuthing. Yeah.
I've been asking people that are out there. Like Mike. I've been asking players. I've been trying to catch them. Trick them into answering questions, and it ain't been working so well. So we got to do a better job, Mike. Me and you.
I got to find one of those young kids who can hack into Emily's computer.
There it is. Yeah, go next level with the sleuthing. If it's not Jeremy, then who though, Mike, for Team USA? I know you mentioned some European potential, but if it's not Jeremy, then who?
Who for Team USA?
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'd go with that, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, guys like Tony Robles' names have always come up, but I just don't see it. Yeah. Who would you think for Team USA if it wasn't Jeremy? Anybody in your mind?
No, I got nothing. I got nothing. I don't. I wish I can be more dramatic, but I just can't. I'm not
Yeah.
going to go on a limb and just start throwing out names that aren't even in contention. Or if I had heard different things, then I would say it. But I just I
Yeah,
don't see how they.
I haven't even heard someone who says, I've heard that they're in contention, or I heard that they got a call from Emily, or I heard whatever. Not anything. No, not
God,
Earl.
no, not
Jenny,
Earl. Please,
it's not
Lord.
gonna.
Please, Lord. Not Earl. We've already that ship has sailed. let him ride into the exhibition
It'll
sunset.
be the middle of a match in the Moscone Cup. He'd be telling someone how they played the wrong shot.
Imagine him in that crowd, and you got Telfer in Earl's ear,
Yeah.
picking at him. I think that'd be good television if nothing
I
else.
love
But
Jenny Endo because she's even more old school than me, so she keeps
which
taking back to these old people.
I invited her on the show, Mike. So you got to convince her. I've already planted the seed. You just got to go
Oh
and seal
yeah,
the deal.
yeah, for
So
sure.
all right, you guys, stay tuned. Once they have the captain's announcements, we'll probably be going live shortly thereafter, whenever it is. So, we appreciate all you guys for tuning in, Mike. It's always a pleasure. Hopefully, we
Fun
look like
stuff.
geniuses after tomorrow, but
Well, you've looked
a
pretty
lot to
good
be
so
seen.
far with Daniel Maciel, so I'm going to give you some credit for
Eh,
that.
it's if Anton's Anton,
It's
yeah.
over.
Anyway, all right, you guys, we'll see y'all later.